I really don't want to air out all my issues on the internet, but I feel like if someone can relate and take something away from my experience, then it's worth it. So here I go again, talking about something that I realized. And this one is still like a thought that's processing in my head. Like I haven't fully processed it, but I think I'm ready to talk about it somewhat. And it has to do with the implications of wearing the hijab at a very young age. I guess what I'm trying to learn is if this is a universal experience or if this is just a me thing and this is something that I'm weak in and I have to fix about myself. Because the other day I was in the masjid and I was having a conversation with a couple of these girls, and they said this one point, which is worth thinking about, is that the girls who put on their hijab in adulthood don't have the same struggle with being seen as the girls who have worn it since they were kids. And intuitively, this also makes sense because these girls had an identity without the hijab on. They were seen. They got to be beautiful and dress up and look a certain way. That can only happen like when you don't wear the hijab. Whereas the girls who've had it on for like ever, they've never known themselves without it. And I feel like they've struggled with the concept of being seen because they weren't seen. They were very much invisible. When you wear the hijab, like that is sort of the effect. It's like part of the protection. But at the same time, as an adolescent growing up, you're going to feel left out of a lot of things. And not just that, but you're going to have a very strong desire to be seen, to be beautiful, to be recognized amongst your peers. Especially because at home, you know what you look like. I definitely struggled with that. I wanted to be beautiful, and I did things that wouldn't make sense given that you're a hijabi, in terms of like wearing like tight clothes, for example, or something like that. I remember I used to do that because I needed to compensate for the fact that I was hiding so much of my beauty. And so I felt that I needed to do this so that I could also be seen in my own way. And because I was so strongly opinionated about the hijab, like part of me would have been so disappointed in myself if I ever took off the hijab. So that kind of left the table. Like that wasn't in question for me anymore because I mean, I've been wearing it since I was like 9 years old. And so to take it off would mean to go back on my word on something that I truly believe in. So I just don't want to do that. So then I tried to like cut corners in other ways, if that makes sense. I think this is like the test of my heart and the healing that I needed to redefine what beauty means to me. And it was a long journey, to say the least. And I'm still going through it, pretty sure. And if the struggle of being seen just stopped at beauty, I would be fine with that. But it didn't. It sort of trickled into intentions and how when I do things that are good, I wish to be seen and recognized in those as well, which is really besides the point because I should be doing them just for the sake of Allah. I remember this one time I was praying at work and I went and closed the door because in my head, the thought crossed my mind like, oh, like what if they see me praying and think I'm such a good Muslim? Astaghfirullah, like make it make sense. And the reason I closed that door is because I had that thought. And I had to prove to Allah that I wanted to only worship Him for His sake alone and not share that with anything else. So if I wasn't seen, then the thought would become meaningless. You know what I mean? I am constantly disappointed in myself when I have these thoughts. When the desire to be seen is so strong that it'll infiltrate that intention of something good that I'm doing. I don't want to pollute the good that I do. And I don't even want to share it because then it's going to be worth nothing. Because if you're doing it for the people, then Allah wants no part in that. And so I want to work on doing things just for the sake of Allah. I just don't know how to reconcile these thoughts that come in my head that have even like the inkling of wanting that validation from others. Because of the desire to be seen, because I haven't been seen. I'm kind of wondering if this is the purpose of a spouse. Because I will be seen when I'm married. And I wonder if that will fulfill the desire enough so that I can actually do things with completely pure intention. Wait a minute. Okay, I think I'm onto something. See, this is what I mean where I have to like say it out loud to process my thoughts. That kind of makes sense because I was asking Allah this Ramadan to like teach me how to want a spouse for the sake of Him. Like want marriage for the sake of Him and not for the sake of me and my, romanticization of what I think marriage is and all my deluded thoughts and this and that. Like I don't want it for myself. Like if I want to get married, I want to get married with the intention that it's for the sake of Allah. And I just didn't know what that meant. But I guess this is what it means. Because you're already so fulfilled by that partner that you might not need anything else to really fill that cup, which means that all your actions are then for God. I think. This is completely theory. But I just need like some type of solution on how to make my intentions pure, on how to not share those intentions with anyone else. I constantly want to better myself. I want to be very pure-hearted when I return to Allah. I want all my deeds to be heavy and filled and not void. Because at the end of the day, I'm so scared to show up in front of Allah and think that I did something in this world and then have absolutely nothing because the intention was so wrong. Maybe what I can do is just, when I get that first thought or my intention wavers, it's not from me, it's probably from shaitan. And the second one that I replace it with is probably mine. And inshallah, doing that, I hope that I can just not have the first intention in the first place and just keep it for the sake of Allah. Who knows? This is just the journey of life that I'm on. But yeah, I hope you took something away from it. And if you did, alhamdulillah, I'm glad I shared it.